This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so guys, in the last session, we covered majorly on the user management, right? Users roles, the types of roles we have, standard roles, the custom roles. Okay, so how do we assign it to the users? In current session, let me work on object level restrictions, data level restrictions, how we share the objects, how we restrict the users. Okay, and how we let me remove this. Okay, how we transfer the objects from development to quality and production systems, and what do we have with the multi-tenant and single-tenant subscriptions? Okay, all right. So guys, generally, when I speak about authorizations, we got like three types of authorizations. One is okay. So generally, guys, you see a lot of roles getting created in normal systems like your BW HANA because okay, so we have three types of authorizations. Activity authorizations means what person can do what kind of activity. Okay, then we got object authorizations means what persons can, what people can access, what kind of objects. So then we have data level authorizations or data security is what we call. So what users should access what kind of data. So generally we have roles for each and everything in the normal traditional systems. But when it comes to SAP Analytics Cloud, we have roles only for activity authorizations, means what people can do, what kind of activities, right? So I have only activity authorization in roles. So for object authorizations and data authorizations, we don't create roles. Okay, so how do we do object level authorizations is through sharing options, guys. Now let's focus on object authorizations. Means, for suppose I have a sales manager. Okay, he should access only sales reports. Okay, I got some kind of a store manager. He should access only store reports. Okay, so I got some kind of a expense manager. He should access finance P&L reports. So he is a vice president. He should access like wide range of reports like that. So generally, so different people should access their own kind dashboards or their own stories, right? So how do we do that is we do it through an option called sharing options. Okay, so we do it through sharing options. So let me show you how the sharing options work. Okay, so how sharing options work is, so generally we got two types of folders, guys, like public folders, okay, and private folders. So generally, in general, what we do is we develop when we are creating any story as a developer, when we create any story, we always create it in the private folder. And if you want the user to access them, so we place them in the public folders. That is one way. In one way, we actually place them under public folders so that any user having access to SAP Analytics Cloud system means any user can access that story. If you place the story in public folders, any user can access the dashboards. But if you want specific users to access the specific dashboard, so what we do is, so we don't place them in public folders. Okay, so whenever you see here, as you see an option called public folder here, in some organizations, we create the objects or stories in the private folders and then place them in the public folder. If you have any object in the public folder, that is accessible to all the people, Okay, who are having access to SAC, all the end users can access that dashboards or that story, because that is in public folder, and public folder is a shared folder for everyone. Okay, and you want specific users to access their own dashboards. So in this case, what we do is we create private folders. Every organization, what they do is, so here I'll take one organization like XYZ or ABC. Let me create an organization. I create a new folder. So I have an organization called ABC. Okay, so under this organization, I have like a lot of subfolders. Let me create subfolders so that you understand. So I got something like supply chain reporting. I create some subfolders like finance. Then we got maybe this one. I rename it as not supply chain, sales and operations reporting, SNOP. I'll go with inventory logistics like that. So I just create some 4 subfolders. So I create some subfolders in sales and operations. Okay, I just want to see sales orders. I would like to see the shipment details. I would like to see the billing reports. Billing and collections. Okay, so like that, I just go with different folders here. So in this folders, we can have some stories, guys. So here you see, I'll create some subfolders so that you understand. Okay, I go with goods movement reporting. Inventory management. Supplier reports. Supplier in the sense vendor reports. So like that, I create some subfolders. I can have multiples here. Okay. So here in finance report, I would like to see the asset reports or asset depreciation reports. How our assets are depreciating. If you have real assets, they'll have depreciation, right? Okay. Then I would like to see cash flow statements for suppose. Cash flow reports. Finance cash flows. Okay, I would like to see finance receivables. Okay. Then finance profit and loss balance sheets. I write like balance sheet. Balance sheet reporting. So like that we can have subfolders. In these subfolders also we can create a lot of folders, guys. In the balance sheet I can go with finance, P&L statement. You can create folder and a folder, folders and a folders. Finance, balance sheet. So this way you can have see organization and finance reporting, the balance sheet reporting, then you have P&L statement. So you can see 4 levels of folders created. Okay. So this way in HR expenses also you can create. Okay. So you just want to know the payrolls, payroll reporting. Okay. Employee expense. Training and recruitment. Like that you see a lot of things. So you just go. Okay. So under this expense reporting, also in under employee expenses. Okay, so there you can see travel expense. So you can also have another type of expense like training expense. So like that you can see multiple expenses of employees. So this way what we do is, so this is how you see generally in an organization, guys. Okay, so now what we do is we start sharing the folders. Okay, we always keep share the objects. We can actually share your stories and models, but here you see, you go to any story. Here I go. Suppose okay, have some sort of a story. Here you can see you have an option to share the story directly. You can share a story directly, one story with all the users. But generally, it's not ideal to directly share a story or a data model. Here you can share a data model also. It's not ideal to share at object level. It is always ideal to share at a folder level. So we create a lot of subfolders. Okay, and we actually share the objects from the subfolders. So suppose, guys, in financial planning, balance sheet reporting, I have P&L statement, and also I got something like P&L planning. For suppose we'll create some new subfolder, finance, P&L planning reports. So in that, I'd like to copy a few objects from here. For suppose so I would like to copy these 3 stories. Let's say copy to finance P&L planning. So I copied them to this. So here I want to share this particular reports to some users. So generally guys, to the planners, for suppose I would like to copy them. So in this case, I go finance reporting. Okay, balance sheet reporting, P&L planning. So I select this folder and say I pick the option called now share this folder. So what happens is now, so we maintain our hierarchy, okay, through folders, the reportings, okay, and we share different folders to different set of users. So for finance users, they will be getting access to these folders. For suppose they are planners, they will be getting access to this planning reporting only. So I'll go share. Can you put your GIDs here, guys? Uh, please share your GIDs. I'll try sharing so that you understand this. You can directly share with users or you can share with teams also. For suppose I have a team, okay. So this is my planning team, planners team. So I'll just share it with my planners team. Okay. So now these planners can directly access that folder and all the objects in the folder. And here you have type of access, guys. You got view access, edit access, full control, and custom access. If I go custom, you'll see what you see in view access is they can read the stories. So they can copy the existing story and create their own version of the story. They can copy the existing one, create their own version of the story, and they can start working on objects. So generally, guys, if that uh, user, or if he is a super user or power user, we give them the copy option so that they can copy the story and have it in their own. But if it is an end user, if he is an end user, he cannot copy that. So he get only read access. He can view the comments, he can add the comments if needed. He cannot update the stories, he cannot create any new stories in the folder, he cannot create new folders, he cannot maintain anything, he cannot delete comments or share anything. Okay, so only thing he can do is this. So if he's an end user, I'll create like this, I'll give this access. Okay, so let's say, so you have an option called share existing subfolders and files. Okay, so I given a custom access here. So to my financial end users, I give this access. So suppose I got a planning team. Imagine I got a planning team. Okay, so this is my planning team for suppose. So for them, what I do is I give them the read option. They can copy and paste the story in their own folders and create the make the changes to that. I would love to give them the copy option also, but they cannot update my existing story and they cannot create any new stories in the same folder or maintain or anything. But they can delete the comment if they want to delete the comment again. Okay, and I want them to share my stories with other planners. They can. So I just give them these two access as well. They can share also. So I given some custom access to this. So let's say share it up. Close. So for planning team, I given a separate kind of access. So they can copy the story and paste it into their own private folders and make all the changes. And also they can share this story with other users also, other planners if needed. Okay, clear? Make sense? Any questions here, anyone? So the type of sharing we do, okay, the type of access we do. Okay, similarly, uh, suppose guys I have finance heavy managers on finance, okay, on balance sheet. I want my management team to access all the P&L cash flows, all the P&L and balance sheet data. Okay, I have a big team. I want them to access both the planning data, the P&L statements, and also the balance sheet data. In this case, I go to the balance sheet reporting, select this folder, share. Okay, share existing subfolders and files means they will be given access to all the subfolders and files in that subfolders. So here I'll go Pick some team. Okay, this team will have view access. I just give them the view access. That's fine. Share. You can maintain your own access, guys. So that this team will have access to all the subfolders in this. Okay. And I'm a finance manager, guys. So I would like to have I would like to access all the finance reporting like assets, okay, like cash flow, receivables, everything I would like to access. In this case, okay, I'm a high level manager or vice president on for finance department. So in this case, I'll give them the full access. For suppose I select this team, okay, and give them what access they need. I go custom, they cannot copy. Share all existing subfolders and files. So they'll be given access to all subfolders and files. Okay, so now you see finance reporting is given access to different people. So that's the reason, guys. Generally, in end users, we create a lot of teams. We create multiple teams in end users. Okay, we place all the say finance level high managers in one team and give them the access at finance reporting level itself. If it is a planner, I'll give them at the planning layer, planning folder itself. If there is some users who need access to all balance sheet and P&L statements, so they will be given access at balance sheet folder levels like that. So we create a lot of teams here. Okay, we do create a lot of teams and give access to different folders. Means different teams will get access to different folders. Higher level managers will get access to the entire component so that they can access all the dashboards or all the stories available in the component. Okay. Here guys, that's the reason we see a lot of teams in end user community. In end users you see a lot of teams, but in developers you see only one team. Same way guys, for suppose I'm a sales vice president or something for the sales area, so we will be given access at sales and operations reporting layer itself. It can be at team level or it can be at user level also guys. So these are like sales VPs, they're given access at this. I'm giving them at the user level only, not team level. So you can share it with users or teams. Under sales and operations reporting, so I'm a man, there is a team which deals with shipments, so I'll give them access to all shipment reports. So suppose this is the team which deals with shipments, they will be given access to shipments. Okay, you see when I go to shipment sharing, along with the team you see the two users. Okay, you see the two users also. So like that you see. Okay, so once it is shared guys, you see a shared symbol here after the folders. So generally, we can give access to different users using the sharing options, guys. So earlier we used to create roles also for object level authorizations, like which users should access what objects. We used to put them in the roles and add the roles to the users, but now we don't need a role. We can simply do it through sharing option. That's the reason in SAC you don't see heavy number of roles. You never see more than 10 roles in SAC because you don't do object level authorization through roles. Earlier what we used to do is we put these objects in roles and give that roles to the users so that the users can access those objects. But now it is done through simple option called sharing options. Clear? Makes sense? Any questions here, anyone? So suppose guys you are a developer community, you should have access to the entire reporting, right? And also you are like some kind of a CEO, you should access all time or all kind of dashboards at the organization level itself. The developer should have access to each and every story. So suppose I'm giving it to the developers. These developers will have, they can read, copy, view statement, they can update the existing reports, they can create the new stories, they can create folders also, they can maintain everything. Okay, they can delete, they can share, they can have. So it's like a full control guys. In this case, what I do instead of custom, so I'll go with an option called full control. Guys, if I select full control, it will select everything. Okay, so they will have full control on the folders on each and every subfolder. Whereas for suppose they are high level managers, okay, they will be given only view access. It's like that, you see. Okay. Okay, guys, any questions on so how we share the objects means at what level the user should access the data, at what objects they need. So we'll be sharing at that folder level first thing, and second, what kind of access also. If you want them to edit something, you can give different set of access. If you don't want to edit them and just view them, you need to give different set of access. All right. Any questions here on the sharing options, guys? Anyone? Any questions here? Hey, am I audible, guys? Hello.
Yes, yes, it is.
Yes, Sacha.
Okay. All right. So that is about the
Satya, after
sharing
sharing
option.
the, Satya, if you want to
And
deactivate the roles, can we do the same? We can do the same activity, Satya.
you want to unshare,
Unshade the,
just click on the shade
yes, yes.
to which team you shared, pick it up, pick that, delete, unshare.
Okay.
Okay. So that is how we do. So we give the object access to different teams and different users using sharing options. So that is an option for object level authorizations, and we don't need to create roles for this. Okay. That's the reason you see a limited number of roles in SAC. All right. So how do we do data level restrictions? Guys, just give me a moment, please. I'll be back in a minute and I'll start cover data level restrictions. All right, guys. So that is how the sharing option work. Now let's move on to the next phase. You see, for end users, we give the full access. For developers, we give full control, and super users, we can do some kind of a custom things. Okay. All right. Now, this is how your sharing options work. So for data level authorizations, how do we do a data level restriction, guys? How do we actually do a data level restriction? See, how we do a data level restriction is, for suppose, we go to this data. So let's go to the model. So data level restriction is always done at the data model level. So here, guys, I got entity, which is like region. So here you see in this model, I have like regions like United States and overseas, two regions. Okay. In overseas, I have Asia Pacific, China, and Europe, Middle East, Europe, and rest of the four regions are in United States. So suppose I'm a user from United States, I should access data only for United States. If I'm a user from overseas, I should access only overseas data. Then how do we enable this is, okay, you can go here, go to the details. Here you have an option called data access control. You see an option called data access control, or you can go to the model preferences, guys. You can either go to model preferences in access and privacy. If you come down, okay, so here you see data access control is right now enabled on product, means which you managers should access what kind of product. You can enable it on entity also. You can either enable there or enable here, both are same. So enable data access control on entity and also on product, so that I can restrict the users on these two areas. Okay, say okay now. So this is to data access control. So now if I say, let's say, save this up. Once enable data access control, guys, here you see read and write. As it is planning model, you see both read and write options. Okay, you see both read and write operation options because it's a planning model. If it is analytic model, you see only read option. Read is enough. You don't see anything in write. So in this case, in read, I can give respective teams or users who should read data for only United States. Okay, so this team, okay, and these users, okay, should access only for United States. So when these users execute anything on this story, okay, they will access data only for United States regions. Okay, so if they execute this story, they will access data only for United States. Okay, then in overseas, I give a team. Let me set my user 89219. I'll give my user also, but I'm an admin user, guys. I'm not sure whether this will work for me. Same thing I copy here. He's an overseas manager. I'll just give this. So these people should read data. So I give the read and write for different regions. So what happens is now this users, okay, access data for different regions. Now if I go onto P&L analysis, the story on top of the data model. I see data for both overseas and United States case because I built this model straight away. Okay, and I actually built, I'm an admin user for that model. So okay, I have full access there. So I'm adding this. But if it is end user, right? So he will be seeing if I add overseas region, he will see access data for only overseas. If I add United States region, he will see data only for United States here. Okay. So that is how we do a data level restrictions here now. It's very simple. Go back to your model, switch to your model. See, I'm the owner for this model, guys. That's the reason. You see, I'm the owner, so I cannot be restricted. But here you see, I go to entity. Here you see, in entity, data access control is enabled, and this user should access the data. These users have different read access on different regions. So this is how we do data level restrictions. Means when this user execute any story on this model, so he will see data only for United States. He will not see overseas data at all. So like that, we can actually restrict the managers or some users based on entity. Here also you have on product also you have read and write. Okay, so here I didn't apply, but you can also apply at product level. So if I'm a product manager for apparel section, I should access data only for apparel section. I can have read on apparel sections. So I'm the manager for footwear section. So my user will be enabled on footwear section, so I can access only footwear section data. So like that, we can put some data lockings, not data access, data locking, data access controls on different dimensions. Usually we do it on country or region, and then or we do it on cost centers. Cost center and region are sometimes same only. Region, cost center, or on products. Sometimes we do it on products also. Mostly on region, country, or cost centers, or products. Second way, we do it on products as well. Okay. Any questions here? Anyone? Any questions on data access control? How we restrict the users to access only their relevant information? It's very simple, guys. And if you remove this data access control, you don't see read and write there. You don't see read and write. If you enable, you see read and write. If you disable, there is no read and write. So like that, you can go to each and every dimension, go to its details, properties, and enable data access control. That is one way. Or you can go to the model preferences and enable data access control from access and privacy.
So if you enable at model level, it is accessible, means whatever you are going to restrict, that is for whole objects which are under that model, right?
Yeah, all stories on top of that model.
Object level, particular object means particular dimension level means then we have to go individual dimension level.
So this is a dimension level only, right?
Yes. But if you go to model, I think it is applicable to all dimensions, I think, right? Or
I didn't get you, man. Maybe you're going in wrong direction. See, I'm at the dimension level in a model. I'm applying this at a dimension level in a model. Okay, this read access. So that
yeah.
any user execute any story on top of this model. So when they have the dimension as entity, they will see data for only United States.
So for another dimension, say now entity, say for example account, another dimension. So we have to maintain individually here for
Yes,
particular
yes.
dimension.
For every dimension, you need to maintain it individually.
Okay.
Then it will be a combination. For suppose one manager, there is a manager X, he should have access data to United States and product is apparel section. So then this should be present in, if you add them in United States, he will access all the products in United States. If you restrict him to only apparel, then he will see data for only United States and apparel section combination.
Okay. So you meant to say here details and then model are same, right? detail level and on the model level. Either ways you can enable the data access control, but individually you have to maintain for
Yeah,
individual data.
once you enable data access control, you'll see read and write option there.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Then you need to maintain the users in read and write.
For individual dimensions. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, sir.
So if you enable data access control, you'll see read and write option on that dimension. Maybe if I go with product dimension, go to the product details. Once I enable data access control, I can see read and write options here. Then you need to maintain the users here. Okay. If I disable, I don't see that read and write options here. Now if I disable that on the dimension, I don't see read and write. Same with model preferences also. If I go to the model preferences, access and privacy, I enable on product. Then I say read and write option in the product. Then you need to maintain the users here, guys. Enable data access control. You will see read and write option. Then you need to provide the users who should write and read the data in different values.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, thanks.
So that is how we do a data level restriction. Data authorizations is what we call. So clear, guys, on the user management and authorizations part. Like, see, so first we set the roles to define which user should create what kind of objects. Okay, who should create what. Then we go for sharing options to restrict which user should access what kind of reports. Okay, salesman should access sales reports only, like that. Then even in the sales reports, if my manager, he should access data only for United States region. Okay, I want him to access data for only United States region. We go for a data level restrictions and using data access control on the dimension. Clear, guys? Make sense? Okay, so then we'll focus on, let's, okay, see how we do a transport management. If I go on to the slides, connections. Okay, see guys, SAP Analytics Cloud can be two types of subscription. We see two types of subscriptions in SAP. One is single tenant subscription and second one is multi-tenant subscription. So generally most of the large scale industries, guys, they go for multi-tenant subscriptions only. But if there is some small scale kind of company, they go for single tenant subscription. What do we mean by single tenant subscription? Is there is only one tenant, only one system of SAP Analytics Cloud. There is no development, quality and production separate systems. There is only one system in single tenant subscription. In case of a multi-tenant subscription, you have development system, you have quality, sometimes you have pre-production also, sometimes, not all the cases, and then you have production box. Okay, so like that, you have development, quality, production systems. That's a multi-tenant subscription. You have only one system, that's a single tenant subscription. Guys, in single tenant subscription, what we do is we develop the stories in private folders, in some private folders, and put it in the shared folders. Okay, so means we connect both quality and production systems to the same box, guys. For suppose, imagine the backend system is, imagine I got S4 HANA system and we're using SAP Analytics Cloud single tenant subscription. We connect S4 HANA quality, S4 HANA production both to SAC, same system. When we're developing the story, we connect to quality system, S/4HANA quality. Okay, develop the story, test the story. If everything is fine, then we put it in a shared folder and repoint your system, your source system, from quality to production. That's it. Means you develop the object in your own private folders, get them tested by the end users, and once it is there, then you put it in the shared folder. That's it. So it's like a one tenant subscription. Okay, so it's a cost effective, used by small scale industries. But if it's a large scale companies, they don't take a risk on developing and production running on the same tenant, right? So they don't take that risks. In that case, what you see is, you see a multi-tenant subscriptions, like development system, quality system, and production systems, like that. So your source system development servers, like for suppose you got source as S/4HANA, S/4HANA development will be connected to SAC development, S/4HANA quality will be connected to SAC quality, S/4HANA production will be connected to SAC production. Okay, sometimes even S/4HANA quality is connected to SAC development just to test the data in development environment. So like that we see. Okay, in general, development to development, quality to quality, production to production connection happens. Sometimes even S/4HANA quality or your source system quality systems will be connected to SAC development. So if you don't have data in your source system development box, we connect the quality box also to development system itself, so that we can test it there. Okay. So how do we transport the objects? So if you have multi-tenant subscriptions, guys, we always develop the stories in development system. Then we transport them into quality and production boxes. So how we transport the objects from one system to the other system? Guys, I cannot transport the objects because I don't have a multi-tenant system. I'll give you some URL, guys, a video, okay, which will help you in understanding the transport management. It's a video, just watch it up. Okay, this will help you in how to transport the objects from one server to the other server. So this is the one. So what objects you can export? You can export analytic applications, dimensions, currency tables, roles, allocations, wrangling, data locking, validations, multi-actions, data actions, etc. And your story state models, public files. So guys, what we do is, so generally, if you go to your server, here you see import and export, guys. I'm not seeing that option here. After security, you'll see an option called transport. In transport, you see export and import, two options. Okay, in general, you see two options there, transport, then you see export. So what do? First, you export your objects into a TZZ file in the server machine, and then import the TZZ file into your, okay, import the TZZ file into your quality system. That's it. It's a very simple process. Here, I'll show you. You can watch this up.
Need to transport SAP Analytics Cloud content from one system to another? As an administrator,
so here you see there is a transport option, guys, where you can do export and import. Just watch this up.
Content network is the preferred option. The first step to creating an export package is to choose your.
Guys, just watch it up. Please. So I just pasted the content here. Just watch the video so that you understand how we transport the objects from one server to the other server. It's a very simplified process. Okay, so you have this here. So it's a very much simplified process of transporting one system to the other system. So where you say export, you export the object first from development into a file, TZZ file, and in the server machine, and from there you import that file into product quality box, okay, and deploy the objects into the quality system. Okay, guys, one more thing. For suppose I have a folder XYZ in development, and that folder is not available in quality, and if you're trying to what do we say, move that object in XYZ folder which is not available in quality, that folder itself is not available in quality, then it will throw out an error. Make sure you always move the objects from the shared folder. So if your private folder is not available in quality system, you cannot move the object. Make sure you always have a shared folders. Okay, you always place the objects in the shared folder before you transport or promote that object to the subsequent systems. Okay, so that is one thing I cannot show. So, but here you see, because I don't have a multi-tenant subscription here, guys. So that's one way of transporting the objects. And then we have an option of analytics portal, guys. Here you see, I go to home. Okay, here you see an option called catalog. Guys, in the catalog, okay, so you can have all your stories, whatever you created, right? You can place them in your catalog so that the end users, instead of going to the stories itself, they'll try to access from the catalog itself. Okay, using the recently added stories, if I go for most viewed, you see the most viewed stories. Okay, and here user also can filter. Okay, so they got only 4 stories. Okay, our user can also search for his own story. So what we can do is we can simply publish them, okay, into this catalog, so that the end users can access all the stories from SAP Analytics Cloud through the analytics catalog present in SAP Analytics Cloud. This is like an end user portal, guys, or this is a Fiori portal available for end users within the SAP Analytics Cloud system, so that they can directly come to this portal, search for their story, open the story. That's it. Okay, and how do you put this story into the catalog is very simple. Here I open any story. You'll see an option called published. Okay, so here you somewhere you see publish option. Somewhere you have an option of publishing the story. I'm unable to publish, guys. I'll see. I think yeah, in the normal versions I cannot publish it up. In general, I see a publish option. I'm not seeing it right now. Mhm. I don't see a publish option here. In general, I see a publish option so that I can publish them into the analytics portal. Okay, I'll show that option also, so that you can directly see from the catalog. You see all the stories that are published to the catalog, so that users can directly come to the catalog and access the stories from the catalog itself straight away. See here, if you want to open actual versus forecast, you will directly go click on this and open the story. Okay, there is no data here. Maybe I'll create some favorites here. Let me see if it works on favorites. Okay. Yeah, if user make any of the favorites, he will see it in the favorites itself. Right? When you see, I made all these stories as favorites. I'll see it in the favorites. But still, I'm unable to see it in the catalog. Okay. You see all my stories, so that user can actually, if user make any story as a favorite, guys, you can directly come to this. Okay, click on the story, so you will open the story directly. Click on the file. Let you see that. Okay, so that is also one way. So generally, it's an analytics catalog, guys, where you can access a wide range of stories. Okay, so end users will directly come to SAP Analytics Cloud instead of going to the files and searching from the files. They'll directly go to the catalog and favorites. Okay, and open the stories from the catalog straight away. Catalog should contain all the stories, and favorites, whatever they mark them as favorites, right, in the catalog, so they will be seen in the favorites folder. So first they will go to catalog, mark all their favorite stories, then they come to favorites and open all the stories from the favorites. Okay, so this is very simple way, guys. Means SAP Analytics Cloud is a system which gives them an end user portal also. Okay, analytics catalog is like an end user portal. It's more like a fairy portal, inbuilt fairy portal in SAP Analytics Cloud, where user can access the stories directly from that portal. Okay.
Satya, one question on a transport part. Can you explain that CNS content network storage approach?
Watch that video, man. That is what I suggest. Even if I
But that
start,
is for export, right? Approach, export import process, right? Whatever you shared, or is it covering both the things?
it covers both the things.
Okay.
Even if I start explaining Mahesh, no one will understand without showing.
Okay.
Just watch the video.
Okay, sir.
So here you have an analytics catalog which acts as a fairy portal where users can access the data directly from these portals. Okay. So you no need to go and build an another portal, guys, to access the reports from SAC. So SAC is a product coming with an inbuilt portal also. Okay. So generally, right, for BW systems or objects, we always create some portals where end users will access the reports. So in case of SAC, we don't need such kind of portals. So the product itself comes with the portal. Okay, that is your analytics catalog. Okay. So that is about my administration. So last session and this session, I covered majorly on user management, object restrictions, data restrictions, like how sharing options work, how data access controls work. Okay, and how we transport the objects. So these are some things, guys, which I cannot really cover because I don't have transport management option in the normal servers, and I don't have role management option in the normal servers. I can cover everything apart from these two. Okay, so just try to grab whatever you can. Okay, but I given it in a very clear way, very detailed way, so that you can understand the things. So this is about the user administration. So maybe I stop here for today, guys. In the next session, we'll start working on planning. I'll start with a brand new topic. We're done with the business intelligence, we're done with augmented analytics, we're done with predictive analytics, we're done with administration security. So I'll be quickly starting with planning tomorrow. Okay, it will be a big track coming up from tomorrow. Okay, I stop here. Thank you all. Have a great day.